coming to you live at 5 together with a Twitch chat to bring you the hottest, the juiciest news about World of Tanks. And finally, they revealed more information and the date actually when the Tech 3 trade-in comes into the game. The Tech 3 trade-in option debuts in World of Tanks on October 24th, so in 2 days, where you are able to use and trade in your existing Tech 3 starting from tier 6 to tier 10 tanks to get a brand new one in return. Basically, de-researching or unresearching one Tech 3 to get another one fully researched Tech 3 back in action. Now, how much this is going to cost, how it looks like, and which Tech 3s or which tank lines are the best in my opinion and, my community's opinion. Let's talk about that all in today's video as well. I just hope to help out some of you if you don't know which Tech 3s to go for, which Tech 3s are good, which you maybe should avoid, and then so on. Because I cannot tell you which Tech 3s you should trade in, because it depends very much on the player as well, but I can recommend some overall very good Tech 3 lines. But at first, let's take a look at this video over here where they explain it a little bit more as well, and then let's carry on.
Want to add some excitement to your game but don't have time to go all the way through the tech tree again?
Yes.
Then the Researchable Vehicles Trade-In is just for you.
Oh,
it'll let you quickly refresh your garage and spice things up. If you have at least one Tier 10 vehicle researched, you'll soon see a banner.
There it is.
Don't miss it, as the events won't be around for long. Only
FOMO.
one trade-in operation will be available per account, so think carefully about what you want to exchange. You can receive any vehicle branch, except for a couple of recently released ones. You can trade any
Huh? So we're not able to get the Dezrng line. What was before that?
Vehicle branch researched from Tier 6 through Tier 10. Vehicles below Tier 6 aren't eligible for exchange. The trade-in affects not only researched vehicles, but also those you've purchased. For example, if you have an entire branch researched, but it's only Tier 9 and Tier 10 in your garage, the trade-in will take this into account. The vehicles of those tiers will appear in your garage, while the others will just be researched. If you've already researched some of the vehicles in the branch you want, you'll save by only exchanging for the ones you haven't. The vehicles you don't need for the trade-in will remain in your garage. You can bring the trade-in cost in gold all the way down to 0 using other resources. However, you can only invest a limited amount of each resource, except bonds. You can invest as many of them as you like, up to the entire cost. Don't miss the details screen. It has a drop-down list telling you what will happen to everything equipped on each vehicle you're trading in. This way, you can make sure you don't lose anything. Field modifications will be transferred to your new vehicles. Equipment, including improved and experimental equipment, will be sent to the depot free of charge.
Nice.
Vehicles' crews will become recruits and keep all their accumulated XP. But be aware that their nation won't change. For example,
yeah, those will be nation locked, but you're able to assign them into new, like for example, German tanks. As a commander, as a driver, you're able to pick the roles as well.
If you exchange the E100 for the T110E5, you won't be able to keep using the old crew. The E100's crew will remain in your barracks for other German vehicles, while your new vehicles will have fresh American recruits. If the crews in the old vehicles weren't trained for them, they will be moved to the barracks. All elite XP from the vehicles you give away will be transferred to the Tier 1 vehicle of the same nation. You can also convert all XP to free XP as usual. If you haven't received field modifications, it's best to do so before the exchange. You can find more details on the trade-in conditions in the article on the portal. Be aware that you can't undo the operation after you confirm it. Don't let your cat near your computer when making your choice. You only have one trade-in operation, so select your new vehicles carefully. Refresh your garage in just a few clicks and enjoy getting a whole vehicle branch in seconds.
All right, so this was the first time when we actually saw the cost of this as well. So the base cost, at least according to this video, when trading E100 line for E5 line, was 9,800, but you're able to get it down, quite a bit, quite significantly. Bonds, I don't think are worth using to be used over here, because bonds is like the hardest earned currency in World of Tanks, so I do not recommend you to use bonds on that, but why not, some free XP, some universal blueprints and whatnot to bring the cost down quite a bit, right? Over here, 5,800. This is actually not the bad trade what they're showing, although this line I really do like it myself as well. I would not trade in E100 personally, because I like Tiger 2. E75 is absolute beast, and E100, in my opinion, is quite a beast as well. But talking about the tech trees which should be traded in, or which you should have, which are very good tech trees to play in World of Tanks. And for that, let's actually go into the game screen now, and if let's go over nation by nation, for example. I'm going to skip artillery because, artillery, you need to do those for missions. I would not use the trade-in feature to pick up artilleries, but Jagdpanzer E100, this is a classic tank to have. Jagdpanzer E100 and Jagd Tiger are the good tanks over here from this line. I'm not a huge fan of all the other ones, like moving down by one tier, Rheinmetall, Waffentrager, and Krille 15. Those are all very good tank destroyers in my opinion. No armor, yes, but the guns are good, and then they slap. When they hit, they slap. From the Panzer 7, I wouldn't pick this tank, even though Panzer 7 is good, but the rest of the tech tree over here, not the biggest fan. Same goes to the Maus as well. Maus is like a very specific playstyle, in my humble opinion. But E100 line is something I personally am enjoying, and E75 being absolute cherry in this line as well. E75 is one of the best tier 9 heavies, in my humble opinion, once again. E50M line, definitely can recommend. Same to the Leopard 1 and Leopard PTA as well, amazing. From the German tech tree, tier 9 and tier 10 light tanks are amazing. The lower tier ones get outplayed. Leopard, is nice, but you're not able to trade that in anyway. But the tier 9 and tier 10 are definitely worth it. Like Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, if you like light tanks, Panzerwagen is one of the light tanks to have in your garage for sure. This gun, after they buffed it, is absolutely amazing. So it has fast mobility, good gun, which makes it a very nice tank for non-scout maps as well. You're able to turn this into kind of a little medium tank over here. And oh boy, we have a lot of Soviet tier 10 tanks. What to pick over here, like which tech trees are good for trade-in. Now, IS-7 is, like this entire line, IS-7 line is good for beginners. Like this is very, very solid line overall for beginners. Many times people have asked which tank is better, IS-7 or Object 277. I like to say that they both are very good, but IS-7 is like better for more beginner players or newer players, and 277 more experienced players, but they both are very good. In good hands, they both slap. The 268 line, I like a lot as well. Over here, like 263 and 268 version 4, maybe, like not, the 268 version 4 is still crazy tank. Like it's very, very dominating tank, but the rest of the line, kinda meh. In my opinion, like they're not bad, but nothing super exciting. I wouldn't use my one single trade-in option for that, for sure. Then the 705 and 705A line ISM is okay. IS4 line, it's like if you like to play armored tanks, then all of those guys have something to offer. They are all very, very solid. KV4, ST1 and IS4. IS4 is like a mini 279E. I would say. The double barrels, from the double barrels, after they buffed ST2, this is way more solid now. IS-32 is extremely good tank. And I personally enjoyed IS-2 too as well. So if you don't have any double barrel tanks, you could look into this line. 432, one of the best beginner lines in the game, like D3485. Like this is a line you should not trade in. Or you shouldn't get with the trade in. This is a line, in my opinion, that you should play yourself, actually. Like all those tanks, just learning the game as well, one by one. 430, very good. 432, very good. All those tanks are very good over here. This K91 line, I do not recommend for beginners. This is more advanced line to play, because especially the tier 10, it has very crazy DPM, the craziest DPM in this game, very epic shell velocity as well, but it is harder, those are harder tanks to play, harder tanks to make work in all kinds of matchmakings. 140 line is basically the same as 430U, like it's a very good all-arounder line, but maybe a little bit more experienced players, in my humble opinion. Then the Soviet light tank line, T-54 lightweight, very good. T-100LT, very good as well. But the lower tiers, they're like okay, I would say. Okay at the best. LTTP, not super awesome. Now, like this is what you have heard me saying multiple times over here, that the tier 9 and tier 10 are very good, but the rest of the line is not. And this is actually was kind of a trend over here as well, like the RU, Leopard PT, Leopard 1, E50 and E50M. Amazing tanks, both over here. E75, E100, like this Waffle, Krill, Jagdtiger, Jagdpanzer E100. So maybe you could only look into trading in. If you want to take part of the trade-in, maybe you could only look into trading in tier 9 and tier 10 tank from one deck tree into another. And it should save you resources and gold at the same time, right? It should do that. Now, talking about the American deck tree, over here I have one deck tree which I do recommend you to get fully. When previously talking about maybe trading in only tier 9 to tier 10 tank, if you do not have E5 line and you have played, quite a few battles in this game already, you know a couple things about this game, then E5 line, in my humble opinion, is one of the best lines overall in the game. All the way starting from tier 5. Now, you're able to trade in from tier 6, right? But all the way from tier 5, this line is amazing. D1 heavy, M6, D29, D32. D32 is still one of my all-time favorite tier 8 tanks, deck tree tanks in the game. And overall, like deck tree, one of my favorite deck tree tanks in the game. M103 is, is good. But it is not easiest to play, but E5 is God tier once again. So we have like God tier tank, very good tank, God tier tank, good tank, and God tier tank in E5. It's just solid, bloody DPM heavy tanks, like very, very nice. When talking about E3, E3 in random battles is very dominating. E3, T95, amazing over here. I do like T25 AT myself as well, so maybe I would skip T28. I didn't really like that much T28. It can have its time, it can have its moments, but T28 not so much. From the E4 line, D30 is amazing, something I would like to, but I would honestly not use my trade-in for E4 if you do not have either of those lines. Personally, I would go for E3. E3 is better for randoms, let's say E4 is better for onslaught, like kind of a heavium, right? At least with the current, like, how do you say that? Modifiers, yes, modifiers on onslaught. A Yo tank, nope, wouldn't go for. A D57 heavy, maybe hot take, guys, but I very much enjoyed D69. I very much enjoyed D69, but one thing has to be said over here. D69 is a tank that needs a lot of primo rounds as well, because the standard shells are just made so bad by Wargaming. So you need to dab some 2K over here. D57 Heavy is one of the better heavy tanks in World of Tanks. Having autoloader as well, it's amazing. Patton is overall average. I honestly would not trade in for Patton. It is good, all that, but not worth your trade in my opinion. And stay away from this line as well, unless you like derpy guns. You want to have some memes. D49 Sheridan, definitely not the best light tanks in the game. When moving on to France, French Tech 3, we have 50B, stay away from that. 50B is can be a good tank, but only in good player hands. The rest, not so much. M4 is still decent. M4, you can maybe look into, but there are better options for that, like E5, for example. Foshby, if you like autoloaders, you can go for that as well. Saves you some time, unlocking some tanks. Foshby is, kind of beast, actually, and very much used in Onslaught as well. Badget line, everything from down here is worth going after, guys. Everything from down here. The Badget line, the AMX 13-105 line, all those tanks worth to get. Very, very good. Light tanks were already good. Now they made Badget absolutely amazing. And wheeled vehicles are simply wheeled vehicles. Those tanks, are kind of a stupid good in, especially in good player hands, right? But hard to play or hard to be extremely useful. You need to know what you're doing. Don't rush in. Don't go, to the suicide spotting, basically. And as chat is saying as well right now, as we're doing it live, the Foshby line was fun to grind. So yeah, maybe this is something that you would like to grind, actually. And I do recommend you to grind this as well, because the autoloading starts from tier 8, and then you get more stuff in tier 9, and then even more stuff in tier 10. So it's a gradual increasement, and I would not recommend you trading it in if this would be your first autoloading tech tree, for sure. So some tanks to pick up over here, especially the medium tank line and also the light tank line. Then from the British tech tree, Effie. I mean, Charioteer and Conway are pretty nice, right? But Effie, well, the highest alpha in the game. This will make you rage more often than not, guys. More often than not. Badger, Tortoise and Badger, very good. The rest are okay, right? Low alpha, high DPM tanks over here, but tier 9 and tier 10 once again, maybe only looking into trading in some tier 9 and tier 10 action. Tortoise, Giga, God tier tank. Tortoise is absolute God tier tank. Over here, Caravan, Conqueror and Dezrng. You can go for tier 8, 9 and 10 from this line. Definitely worth trading in my opinion. Conk and Dezrng still definitely top tier tanks. They nerfed Dezrng a couple batches ago, and for some reason suddenly everybody stopped playing it. But in my opinion, it is still basically the same bloody tank. Yes, a little bit less, a tiny percentile less dominating, but still very good. From the medium tank line, if you want to get some British medium tank action, I would skip Centurion 1 for sure. Centurion 7-1 and Action X top tier tanks. Comet as well, Cromwell as well. So maybe if you want full tech tree, just skip that Centurion 1. I do not like it. Concept 5. If you want to send a message, guys, you can trade in and get full Concept 5 line and then simply sell them all. And then burn that credits what you received from Concept 5 line. This is how much I hate that line, actually. But this might be my issue. It might be my issue. You may enjoy it, but I don't recommend that. Okay? I don't recommend that. If you enjoy it, congratulations. I'm happy for you. Good luck. But I've already heard so many people who are going to use Concept 5 to trade that line in for something else. It also is not something for me as well. Like, why would I play this tank if I have Leopard 1 at my disposal? And why would I use this tank if I can play with Centurion Action X? And so on. Light tank line, Manticore. Manticore is pretty much the only one I would like to get over here, so not really going for it. Chinese Tech 3. Okay, we have some things over here to talk about. After they buffed the WZ113 GFT, I think this line is absolutely mwah! Tier 8, 9, and 10 I would go for. If you want to get some Chinese tank destroyer action over here, 5A, stay away. 121, 120 are worth it, I would say. Light tanks, stay away. So, stay away from that. Stay away from that. You can go for this, 8, 9, 10, for example. And the jet booster tanks are more of a gimmick, guys. I honestly wouldn't trade those in. Maybe this is a line that you want to grind yourself to get used to the jet boosters at first, and then, see if you want to keep going or not, but I wouldn't use my trade-in for that. Okay. Moving on, Japanese Tech 3, Hori 2, Hori 1, Hori 3, or Cheeto SP, all God tier tanks, guys. Well, okay, not all God tier tanks. Well, Hori 3 is God tier tank. This is OP, right? So we have some good action over here. Hori 3 definitely recommended, but I wouldn't trade it in once again right now because it is top of the tree and you can grind it out yourself and buy it with a cheaper price. And I think maybe you're not even able to trade it in right now. But, overall, yes, very good line. We're doing a quick Tech 3 overview over here as well. Type 71 line, not recommending at all. Type 5 line, not recommending at all either. STB, very good tank. STB1, love that. Type 61, love that. I recently just free marked it as well. And Type 61, I honestly very much enjoyed. I am one of the guys who actually enjoys Cheery as well. Cheery gets a lot of hate, but I like that beautiful, fast, super fast auto-loading gun on this for some memes. STA1 is kind of an average, so some tanks over here to look for. VZ55 line, 8, 9, and 10 could be worth it. Yes, VZ still, even after nerfs, still very, very solid tank. TVP, Skoda D50, amazing. TVP, T50, 51, amazing. So maybe going for those. And machine guns, I think you can't trade it in anyway, but at the same time, I wouldn't even trade it in. I would play them one by one to see if you even like the auto cannons. But as I said, I think you are not even able to trade it in. So, moving on, the Polish tanks. Maybe you are not able to trade in Bliskavica. But tier 8, 9, and 10, those are actually very strong. But me personally, I do not honestly like the playstyle too much. Like full APCR, which likes to bounce a lot, very tiny gun arc. In many battles, hard to make it work. But, as far as the quality of the tanks go, those are quite strong, I would say so. Quite strong. 60 DP, one of the best lines in the game, one of the best heavy lines in the game, in my opinion. Cannot go wrong with 60 DP. I like the 50 DP and also 53 DP personally as well. CS 59, this tank, like CS 63 maybe, but the rest no. Boogie as well. Boogie was super fun, but the middle over here didn't enjoy much any of those tanks. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess. Judas, if you like sneaky red line sniping tanks, then this line, I gotta be honest. This entire line was actually very enjoyable to play. All the way down to like IKV65, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed IKV90B. Judas is kind of a red line sniper. camper. STRV a little bit more aggressive, and STRV 103B, if you know how to play this tank aggressively, it can be one of the most fun tanks to play. Like you are not redlining it, you are kind of frontlining it. And knowing enemy calibers, knowing which flank you go, and dealing stuff that way. So this could be very nice line actually to trade in for. Then the Emil 1, Emil 2, Grun 1. I have not tested out those tanks with new crew skills. People have been saying that the new crew skills helped those tanks a lot. Because it was one of the most dominating line, like 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. But after they nerfed it, the gun handling was made way too derpy for my liking, for sure. Like I couldn't hit half my shots from the clip, or two, in the best case, 2 shots out of 3, right, were hits. And so I would leave a question mark over here. Maybe just grind it out yourself, when you have time. But I wouldn't say it is like the best line right now. URAS 14, 5, URAS 16, and URAS 15, 16. Those are pretty solid tanks. All of them pretty solid tanks. This especially can be very sneaky with CVS setup, like sneaky spotting, scouting tank. And URAS 15, 16 as well is kind of nice. Very strong turret, has the hydro pneumatic suspension, and can dominate some positions for sure. So that much about the Swedish deck tree. Now moving on to the Italian deck tree. And here, should I put the disclaimer? Because over here I like so many tanks what maybe many of you don't. For example, I loved Procetto 66. I loved Rinoceronte. But I've also seen so much trash talk about those tanks. When me, personally, I liked it a lot. Now, I have to say that they are a lot more harder tanks to make work. But if you know what you're doing, they can be very fun. But especially for newer players, I would not recommend trading it in. It's more advanced line, I would say so. Procetto 65, still amazing tank in my opinion. Procetto 65, Standard P, still amazing tanks. Pantera 44 or P44 Pantera, decent as well. So I would say those tanks are very nice as well for trade-in. And the SMV, CC1 and Minotauro, very, very solid tanks. Even after nerf to the Minotauro, it's still kinda tough and kinda strong tank. In World of Tanks. So you could be looking into maybe tier 8, 9, and 10 trade-in over here. P44 Pantera, Standard P, yeah. Once again, tier 8, 9, and 10 over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, quick overview of the entire deck tree in World of Tanks, going over all the nations. Now, I covered many lines over here which I like. Now keep in mind, this is my personal opinion. For example, you may enjoy Concept 5, absolutely fine with that. And you may not enjoy Eskonk at all, for example. Maybe this tank is just not for you. Even though I said the Eskonk line is very good, but if you do not like it, you can use that to trade it in for something else. Like, for, I don't know, AMX 105 line or the Badger 25T line, just as an example. Maybe you want to simply switch it up. Maybe you report from one tank or another tank and you want to switch it up. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of all the tanks in the deck tree, and hopefully it was helpful for you as well. And going over to the article once again. What can we see over here? The trade-in thingy. I think the video covered everything. Like, I need to say something. If you are going to trade something in and you want to get your recruits, your crew members as recruits, nation-locked recruits, you have to put all of those into the tank, what you are trading in right now. Because if your crew member, like let's say your type 5 crew members are inside some other tanks or a premium heavy tank or whatever. You know, if they're on a premium tank, inside a premium tank, those are not going to be taken away from the premium tank and made recruits. It needs to be in the vehicle you are trading in. And that has to be said over here. Field modification levels are transferred to the new vehicle. They mentioned that in the video as well. If you have full field mods, you are going to get full field mods on your new Tech 3 as well. And overall, when should you use that? Well, I see this being the most useful who just don't have enough time to grind out every single tech tree, but you want to get some variety in World of Tanks. You know, you would like to get some new tanks. Would like to test out some new tanks. Maybe you are bored of your Jagdtiger and Jagdpanzer E100. You know, you can trade that in for something new, for something else. And of course, if the price is not going to be that bloody heavy, like if it is 14,200 gold, this is very hefty price, guys. It also comes down to the price. If you're not able to get it down to levels where you're comfortable, what you're comfortable with, then do not even bother, right? Just, you know, grind the game slowly, grind tanks out slowly, and be happy with that. I like that, you know, every tank comes fully researched, what you receive, that you do not need to go through the stock grind anymore, and so on. But overall, like for more experience, for more active players, this feature maybe doesn't even mean anything. You may not find any use for that. But if you have a Tech 3 in your garage, what you have not touched for a very long time and simply want to get rid of it, then this is your option, I guess. And hopefully have something to get the discount as well. So hopefully it was a little bit helpful. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. And also let me know what tanks are going to trade in and what you want to get if this feature comes live in 2 days. Yes, in 2 days. It is actually 5 p.m. right over here right now, so coming to you live at 5 is reality. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one and adios.